on the temple. Unbelievable.
We start with a special showcase bout.
It's an absolute monster of a lightweight. What a moment! A history-making goal!
She wasn't going for goal, but she'll happily accept it.
It's gone all the way through, and look at this! Chewinga! Did you dare write Barcelona off?
The career of one of the all-time greats is all but over.
Nice comeback.
Uma oportunidade de dizer alguma coisa que eu acho que nunca disse.
Let's get this party started!
NFL Game Pass is now exclusively on DAZN.
Let's get this thing going.
Watch every game, plus the playoffs and Super Bowl. It's your all-access pass.
That is how you fight a southpaw. Well on his way to coming back.
Katie Taylor does it again. Look at the emotion.
The fans are here, as they always are, in the Toshiba Plaza for the Canelo big fights, and this is a big one, isn't it? Canelo versus Jaime Munguia for all the marbles at 168 pounds. The question is, though, who has the fans? Is it Canelo, which it normally always is the case, or is it Jaime Munguia? We're here for the weigh-ins. We're going to make it official. Welcome to the DAZN Boxing Show. Adi Oladipo, Chris Algieri, Chris Mannix. We're on the stage here. I love being here on the Toshiba Plaza because you can see down and you can kind of get a real feel for it. You almost feel like you're on top of it. Who do you think is going to have the fans, Chris? Canelo, as he always does, or is it going to be Munguia?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
there
Two
you go,
Chris's.
two
You gotta
Chris's.
get Chris's.
Mannix.
I'll take this one off the top. I think for the first time in Canelo's professional career, it's going to at least be mixed, right? Like, you go back to the fights Canelo's had against fellow Mexicans, most recently Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That was still an entirely pro-Canelo crowd. Go back to the Floyd Mayweather fight. There were still more Canelo fans in that building that were there for Floyd Mayweather. He has always been the fan favorite. But against someone like Jaime Munguia, who is kind of the people's champion in Mexico, has a lot of fans from the Tijuana area and all across, I think it is going to be a 50-50 split here when these two guys take the stage.
Agreed. Chris Algieri.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. Just walking around, the atmosphere, I'm seeing a lot of Jaime Munguia headbands. There's a lot more fans here for Munguia than I think some people would expect because it's Canelo. But yeah, I'm curious to see when these guys come out on stage for the weigh-in, how the fans react.
Yeah, I will say this as well. I've seen Jaime Munguia's wife out there throwing T-shirts to the crowd. She's got the speakerphone. She's really getting behind her man, as to be expected. Look, I do want to focus on Canelo Munguia. That's what we're here for. But it has been a crazy 36, 48 hours, Chris.
Always
and
is.
I do want to get your take on this Ryan Garcia situation. Ryan Garcia, we're hearing, is here in Vegas. Oscar De La Hoya was with us a moment earlier as well. What's your take on all of what's happened with Ryan Garcia in the last 2 days?
I mean, there's still a lot of research to be done. There's still a lot of information that needs to come out before any definitive decisions are made. But listen, he failed the test. The drugs were in his system. How they got there is really the question now. And the burden of proof falls on Ryan. And if he's going to actually contest this and show that it was an accidental dusting from a supplement, or if this was intentional, because the weight of that really matters depending on what happens next. In terms of he's going to get banned for 2 years or 6 months. Listen, a 6-month ban in boxing currently at his level, not really that big of a deal. He made a ton of money anyway. It's not that big of a deal. 2-year ban, that's a whole different talk. So now, if it turns out that he was taking something and it was on him to do it, that's a lengthy ban. And 2 years out of the sport for a 25-year-old at this stage of his career is a big deal.
Yeah, look, we'll be following the story closely, obviously, and any more updates we'll be certain to share them with you. All right, Ariel Helwani is in the mix downstairs. Again, I've asked the question, is it Canelo fans? Is it Munguia fans? Ariel, who's got it?
Yeah, it's a great scene out here. We got a ton of fans already lined up. Mason, take a look at all these fans in the scorching heat in Las Vegas. This is an amazing crowd, and I was told that it's a very pro Jaime Munguia crowd, but I'm seeing a lot of Canelo Alvarez fans here. Guys, who are we rooting for, Jaime Munguia or Canelo Alvarez?
Canelo, cinnamon, baby. Cinnamon,
Canelo.
baby.
Canelo.
It's all Canelo. Oscar De La Hoya just told me that it's all Jaime Munguia, but I'm getting all. Are there any Munguia fans here? No Munguia fans. It's a very pro. Are there any Munguia fans here? Canelo, 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 Canelo. Don't believe the hype. Saul Canelo Alvarez is still the man as far as these fans are concerned. Guys, back to you.
It's still early, but you can hear from Ariel there. It's all Canelo fans. All Canelo fans so far. We'll say this, so the fans are still making their way in, so that can switch as we get close to the weigh-in time. All right, as I said, Oscar De La Hoya was with us earlier, had an interesting T-shirt, which I won't reveal. If he comes and shows himself, you'll see what he has to say. What have you made of that situation, Oscar Canelo?
I mean, listen, they have history, obviously. You know, he used to be the promoter of Canelo Alvarez. He then, moved over to Eddie, and now he's with PBC. And listen, Oscar's a fighter, man. Listen, he stays in the news. He still has that fighter mentality. So for him, there's bad blood there. He went out and took shots at Canelo at the press conference. Made for great TV. Made for a lot for us to talk about. But yeah, there is bad blood there, and Oscar, is telling his truth. Saying his truth.
This was a simmering feud that finally boiled over on Wednesday afternoon. And look, the history between these two is long and complicated. You go back to 2010 when Golden Boy signed Canelo Alvarez. That was regarded as arguably the biggest signing in Golden Boy history. Oscar called him the future of boxing right here in Vegas after Canelo beat Jose Miguel Cotto. Fast forward a couple of years, and you can make the argument that Canelo saved Golden Boy Promotions when they were going through their split with Al Heyman fighters. A lot of fighters left Golden Boy. Canelo Alvarez staying with Golden Boy allowed them to keep their relationship with HBO and to rebuild their stable over the last couple of years. But you go ahead to 2019 when the friction really started between Oscar and Canelo. This has been a very acrimonious breakup. We've heard these guys take shots at each other through the press over the last 3 or 4 years. What we saw on Wednesday was a lot of tension just bubbling out.
Do you think this helps Munguia? Obviously, look, this is a big stage, a big setting for Munguia. He's had some big fights, but nothing like this, nothing like a Canelo fight week. Do you almost feel like Oscar's almost taken the pressure off him and has deflected it to the Canelo versus Oscar feud as opposed to what we're here for, which is Munguia versus Canelo?
I think it certainly helps the promotion of the fight, and Munguia is not an outwardly vocal guy, and it's not in his makeup. He's also said on record he respects Canelo, has looked up to Canelo his whole life, has looked into fighting him. So I think De La Hoya taking that mantle, taking the mouthpiece for Munguia, I think has been beneficial for not only Munguia and his fans, but us and the media and the promotion of the fight itself.
Let's get to matters of now, right? We're here for, as I said, Canelo versus Munguia. As we get closer to the fight, sometimes people switch and change their opinions on it, right? When this fight was first made, Canelo 100%. As we get closer, a lot of people are now starting to give Munguia a chance, a real live dog. As we approach the weigh-ins, has your opinion swayed at all?
Well, let's say this first. That happens a lot during a fight week because you start to hear a lot of comments from people around the promotion, people connected to the fight, who start to think, yes, this guy's got a chance. And look, Jaime Munguia does have a chance. He is an excellent fighter. He is a volume puncher. You look simply at the copy box numbers. He throws more than 40 punches per round more than Canelo Alvarez. So volume is on his side, but can he stand up to the power of Canelo Alvarez? That continues to be my question, and I still don't believe that for 12 rounds he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, all the big names are here. One of those big names is Bernard Hopkins, and Ariel Helwani is caught up with the man that is also now part of the Golden Boy team.
Yeah, they're all promoters.
All right, guys, I'm here with the great Bernard Hopkins, obviously a part of the Golden Boy team.
Got you. Hold up.
Bernard, we're live here on the Win Show. Just want to ask you. Yeah, just we'll walk right over here with Bernard Hopkins. We're live right now. Sugar Shane Mosley is here too, the legend. There's all. I'll ask you, both of you. How about this? This is boxing royalty. Bernard, I'll start with you. Munguia, your team, Golden Boy. You're a part of the squad. How do you see this fight going down tomorrow?
I see this fight being strategic, but I also see, Canelo being who Canelo is, and Canelo shouldn't be denied and shouldn't be underestimated. This is going to be a really a challenge for Munguia. Anybody can pull it off is Munguia because of his not only his heart, his tradition of the Mexican fighters, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And let me tell you something, if this is going to be a time where Canelo will fall short or can fall short, it'll be this time right now. But it won't be easy, and it won't be given to earn it 1,000%.
Okay, that's tremendous insight. What about you, Shane? How do you see it playing out?
Well, I think that Munguia has filled into his weight at 168, so it's going to be a fight punching skills, and we know that if it's hard for Munguia to hit him and to get the right shots in, then it's going to be a hard night for Munguia. Keep him at bay with that jab and 1-2s, keep the combinations going, keep Canelo on defense. Maybe he has a great shot of beating Canelo. So I edge to Canelo, but I do like Munguia as well.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time. It's an honor.
I concur.
Okay. Love it. All right. There's the insight from two of the greatest ever. Ade, back to you.
I've been asking where Bernard is all fight week. Like, where's Bernard? Where's Bernard? Bernard is obviously here. Bernard will be behind his man, Jaime Munguia. I did ask you this, Chris, the question. I want to ask you, Algeria, about where Canelo is right now. I think the best Canelo I've seen, probably have to go back to Canelo Golovkin too. I thought he was outstanding in that fight. Everything, punch output was still very, very good. Went to the body, went to the head. Where do you see Canelo right now?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Right? What version of Canelo are we going to get tomorrow night? Listen, he's 33. That's when the body starts to change as an athlete. And if he gets old overnight, which we always say that adage that, Father Time beats us all, that if he shows up, just like Shane said, and Bernard said, if he shows up old tomorrow, Munguia is the guy to get him. He's youthful. He's got that exuberance. He's got punch output, like you said, Chris. He's big. Have you seen him this week walking around? He is a big 68-pounder. He looks healthy. He looks full. He looks confident to make the weight. So it really depends on which version of Canelo shows up. I've been saying it for the whole lead-up. The best version of Canelo beats the best version that we've seen of Munguia thus far. But both of these guys, Munguia is an ever-improving fighter, so we don't know what version of him we're going to get either, and we don't know what version of Canelo we're going to get. So it really comes down to which of those two steps in the ring.
I think there are two notable differences in this version of Canelo from the guy that was running through 160 and 168 between 2018 and 2021. That version of Canelo was a volume puncher. This version is much more judicious with his punch selection. He has a lower output. He still throws hard, but doesn't throw quite as often. And defensively, I think he's a different fighter as well. You look at those fights against Daniel Jacobs, the early fights against Golovkin. Chris is doing it right there. The moving, the shifting, the parrying, or the rolling with different shots. He was elite with his head movement and his body movement. Now, he's a lot more comfortable. Again, Chris is good. We'll let Chris Algieri sort of simulate it right here. Keeping his hands up, moving forward, and parrying those punches, absorbing those punches into his body. So he's still great at these things. He just does them very differently. I think for Jaime Munguia, though, the key for him is going to be a stiff jab. He has got to have that jab out and in the face of Canelo Alvarez all night, and he's got to resist that Mexican temptation to get into a street fight with Canelo Alvarez, because as big a puncher as Jaime Munguia is, he doesn't win a street fight against Canelo.
It's crazy to say, like, Munguia doesn't have experience when you've got a guy that's had 40 plus professional fights at such a young age. But this is a massive step up. You had that similar step up when you fought Manny Pacquiao. What's it like when you are taking that big step to fight a superstar of the sport?
I mean, from my own experience, it's just, you're so in it, you don't really think about how big it is. You're just one foot in front of the other, get to the ring, do everything, leave no stone unturned in terms of your training and be prepared. I see that in Munguia. He's a guy that He trains very, very hard in the gym. I've heard reports that he's a very hard worker in the gym. Obviously, you can say that from his size. Like I said, he looks very healthy and looks very fit. You also got the addition of Freddie Roach now. Yeah. So that adds a big caveat to this fight for this experience. Yeah, he lacks experience in terms of actually getting in the ring. But now when you got a guy like Freddie Roach behind you, you got a guy like that Freddie Roach in front of you in between the rounds, that really matters. You got that guy walking with you in the back, warming you up. That helps deal with the big stage.
Indeed, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Chris, I would ask you this. I mean, before you fought Pacquiao, was it Provodnikov? Was that the fight before? So you had experience in a big-time fight. Like, that was as tough a fight as you could make. My question about Munguia is he doesn't have that kind of fight. John Ryder was a good win for him, the best win of his career, but he has not had that level between, right? There's like a level between Ryder and Canelo that if he does, without having it, I don't know how he's going to get there.
Indeed. All right, you can see Miguel Flores has started the weigh-in, so we're going to throw it back downstairs to get this weigh-in and get this official fight day fully wrapped up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for our fighters to step onto the scale. Once again, out of Los Angeles, California, please welcome Ronald Cruz. 152.2 for Cruz. And now it's time to welcome the young rising star. Once again, here is White Magic, Vito Mielnicki Jr. 153.6 for White Magic. This is our first bout on our PBC prelims on Prime Video tomorrow. 10 rounds in the super welterweight division. Vito Mielnicki Jr. versus Ronald Cruz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for our second PBC on prelim bout. Once again, this bout is 10 rounds in the super welterweight division. Coming to the stage first with the record of 34 victories, 33 of those coming by way of knockout and just 2 defeats. Representing Valencia, Valenzuela, here is Johan Gonzalez.
Translate.
And now we welcome his opponent out of Casa Grande, Arizona, with 20 victories, 16 by knockout, and just 1 blemish. Here is one of the top super welterweight contenders, Jesus Mono Ramos. All right, we are now ready for the fighters to step onto the scale. Once again from Venezuela, here is Johan Gonzalez. $153.6 for Gonzalez. And now we welcome his opponent getting set to step onto the scale. Once again, out of Casa Grande, Arizona, here is Jesus Mono Ramos. 154.6, 154.6 for Ramos. This is a 10-round bout at 155 pounds. Our second bout for our PBC on Prime Video prelims. Jesus Mono Ramos against Johan Gonzalez. Our PBC prelims begin tomorrow on Prime Video from T-Mobile Arena, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, how many people are here for Munguia? And how many are here for the king of boxing, Canelo Alvarez? It's Canelo versus Munguia. We are just moments away from both fighters stepping onto the scale. But first, I will turn things over to the Hall of Famer, Mr. Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and indeed we welcome you as we continue the ceremonial weigh-in. We are here at the Toshiba Plaza amongst the shadows of the T-Mobile Arena, the site of tomorrow night's big night of action, as Canelo Promotions presents the Cinco de Mayo Weekend Boxing Extravaganza, brought to you in association with Premier Boxing Champions as well. We present the PBC pay-per-view event on Prime and the ceremonial weigh-in. Well, fans, our opening pay-per-view attraction features the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. And at this time, we ask you to please welcome them as they make their way to the stage. First, the world title challenger joins us from Barcelona, Venezuela. Here is the undefeated world rank contender, introducing Gabriel, El Capitan Maestre.
Here we go. So this is the pay-per-view portion of the card, and it's a good fight as well. Chris Mannix to kick us off in the welterweight division, a division that with Terence Crawford eventually going, Errol Spence going as well. I know Boots Ennis is there, but
and now making his way to the stage, the defending champion, hailing from Kaunas, Lithuania.
Here's sanctioning bodies, but even though these are two interim titles at 147 on the line, they are eventually going to be elevated to full titles. So we are looking at what should be interpreted as real world title fights, beginning with this fight with Stanionis against Maestre. Stanionis is a familiar name to people that watch the DAZN. He was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz a year ago. That was when Virgil had some health issues, had to back out on fight week. Now here he is 2 years later.
World title attraction of the evening and the opening pay-per-view attraction. At the scale, the weight limit is 147 pounds, a very strict weigh-in limit, as we are fighting for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. First to the scale, with an outstanding and long amateur career, he is undefeated as a professional, 6 wins, no losses, 1 draw with 5 big wins coming by way of knockout. The acclaimed 26 Olympian, the undefeated challenger making the first attempt at a world title, Gabriel El Capitan Maestre. Gabriel Maestre weighs in at 146.8 pounds, 146.8. And out to the scale, his opponent, the defending champion, with a record of 14
He's a man, you know, into his 30s, he's quite deep into his 30s, looks incredible in the scales.
Yeah, like Manic said, I mean, this is going to eventually be updated to a world title fight. So 12 rounds in this sport, which I believe is the hardest physical contest that you can ever compete in. Got to be in shape, and even in advanced age, he looks to be in fantastic condition.
And this fight has the potential to be a real banger. Two guys that can crack at 147.
It will be interesting to see
momentarily. We're going to have our
fighters 12-round distance, been out the ring for 2 years. You know, he's still always trained, but there's a difference between, as you know, training camps and actually having fights, Chris.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like an actual fight. Stanionis seems like a hard-charging guy who stays in the gym, like as you said. Unfortunate that he's spent so much time outside of the ring, which was not his fault.
And look, he's coming off 2 years ago, arguably the best win of his career when he beat Butayev on the Errol Spence undercard. That was a huge moment for him. He thought he'd have a chance to capitalize on it much sooner. This is a fight he's hoping to get some of that momentum back.
Again, 12-round fight for the WBA interim world title. Obviously, Terence Crawford, the current WBA champion, moving up to 154 pounds. So as Chris Mannix says, basically you're looking at what will be the full WBA welterweight champion, whoever comes through this one.
I hand the microphone over to respected PBC reporter and boxing pundit Jordan Plant.
Thank you, Jimmy. Maestre, you and Stanionis fought in 2015 in the amateurs. It didn't go your way, but how good does it feel to have the opportunity to avenge that loss here in the pros?
Peleaste contra Stanionis en 2015. Tuviste una derrota dolorosa, pero ¿qué tan bien se siente el poder vengarla frente a todo este público este sábado por la noche?
Bueno, sí, como ustedes saben, ya nosotros nos vimos las caras en el amateur del 2015. Una pelea fue dura, pero bueno, nada, ya eso pasó. Le dimos ya un borrón en cuenta nueva a eso, como le decimos nosotros los venezolanos. Y ya esto es otra historia, este es el boxeo profesional. Y nosotros venimos con todo a buscar ese título el día de mañana.
Look, 2015 was tough, no doubt about it. But now we're both pros. We turned the page, and I can't wait for Saturday night because it's going to be a great fight. I hope I get my redemption, but in a way, it's going to be great to see all the fans here, see how far I've come and how far I'm going to take it against Stanionis.
And what would it mean to you to win the WBA welterweight world title?
¿Qué significaría para ti el poder ganar el título mundial del peso welter de la AMB?
No, significa mucho. Mira, para mí sería un orgullo, ¿no? Llevarme ese título a Venezuela, ya que sería una alegría para toda mi gente de Venezuela y que Venezuela necesita muchos otros campeones mundiales más en el boxeo. Y más aún yo que yo sé que para Venezuela sería importante, ya que sería una alegría, ya que yo le di mucha alegría a mi país cuando estuve en el boxeo amateur. De verdad, mucha alegría. Y me gustaría darle esta alegría más en el boxeo profesional, llevarle el título mundial.
It will mean a lot to me. I've given a lot of happiness to my country as an amateur, and I want to continue doing so. I want to continue making my country proud this Saturday night because you guys mean a lot to me, and I want to give my best for you all because you guys are the best for me.
Thank you so much. Best of luck to you tomorrow night. We're going to head over to Stanionis, and that was Martin Batter translating for us. Thank you so much. All right, Stanionis, join me over here, please. You faced him once in the amateurs. You beat him. How do you do it again tomorrow night?
Nothing going to change on Saturday night. I'm going to bring Mexican style, and I'm going to have my belt with me.
What did you see in that final face-off when you looked into his eyes?
Nothing. He's ready, and I'm glad. The last time my opponent didn't show up, so this one showed up. So I'm very happy, and we have a fight. So feels amazing after 2 years.
I know you're excited to be back. We can't wait to see you in the ring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan Plant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can feel the excitement. We're leading up to the weigh-in for the main event of the evening, but we have two more world title fights to bring to you. Amongst the thousands that are here bearing the heat, it's so glad to have you. We have people in the parking lot looking down, watching the weigh-in. T-Mobile Arena balcony as well. So we're ready to bring out our fighters for the next weigh-in in a big night of action. This is our next world title attraction. Please welcome to the stage, first, the challenger, hailing from and making his home right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's the former WBO champion of the world. Please welcome Jesse Magdaleno.
Jesse Magdaleno making his way onto the stage. Remember, he takes on Brandon Figueroa. This will be a tough fight for Jesse Magdaleno, not because he's not a great fighter, Chris, because he certainly is. But Brandon Figueroa right now feels like he's on a steam train at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough out for anyone. He throws a ton of punches. He's got world-class experience. So, yeah, very, very, very tough fight for Diego to come back against a guy like Brandon Figueroa.
Yeah, Brandon Figueroa, the only loss on his resume, a majority decision to Stephen Fulton, the unified champion at 122 before he lost over in Japan to Naoya Inoue. He is a heavy-handed guy, so I think this is going to be another firefight on this undercard.
Yeah, Brandon Figueroa, the current WBC interim featherweight champion. Obviously, the full champion being Ray Vargas. Obviously, Ray Vargas coming off that tough fight against Nick Bull. You wait to see if Ray Vargas is going to stay in the division.
I'm so glad we have an interim champion.
Here we go, another interim champion. If not, Brandon Figueroa will be elevated to full championship status, and I expect that to happen.
And you mentioned the heavy hands. Figueroa has that knockout win over Luis Neri, who's fighting Inoue in a few days.
Champion of the world, Jesse Magdaleno.
128.6.
Jesse Magdaleno weighs in 128.6 pounds, 128.6. That weight is over the limit. We'll see if that fight will go on. Back to you in just a moment. Now to the scale, the defending champion. His record 24-1-1 with 18 knockouts. The two-division world champion and the current WBC interim featherweight world title holder. The very exciting, the heartbreaker, Brandon Figueroa.
This should be okay for you.
Yeah, you look at him physically, he is the smaller guy than Brandon Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa obviously a little leaner, taller, but it is surprising to see Jesse Magdaleno blow that weight by more than 2 pounds.
Brandon Figueroa pretty much bang on 125.4. And again, it goes back to what all of us were saying. This could be a very, very tough night for Jesse Magdaleno, but who knows?
Should Jesse Magdaleno win this fight, he will not be able to take the belt, but the fight is on in our second world title attraction tomorrow night.
You know, we joke about the titles, the interim titles that are on the line on a card like this, but this really is a very good undercard in terms of action fights, quality of the fights. Not a lot of these fighters, guys, are going to take one step backward. I think from the start to finish, you're going to see some great events.
The heartbreaker, Brandon Figueroa versus Jesse Magdaleno. Once again, we're going to hear from
Jesse
both of these
Magdaleno. I don't want
fighters.
to ever say it's the last chance saloon, because I think boxing has shown us that there can be so many Indian summers, but coming off that Ray Ford disappointing performance again, he needs to step up, Chris. He needs to show us that he can do something against the top dogs in this division.
So always know that I'm always rooting for you guys. I hope you guys are rooting for me. Let's bring this victory home, and let's bring these titles home.
What are you looking to prove tomorrow night?
That I'm the better fighter, that I'm going to be the better person. You know, I feel ready, I'm mentally ready, physically ready, and let's get this going.
We'll see you in the ring tomorrow night. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Brandon, good to see you again. One more sleep until you step through those ropes. I know you've got to be excited. What can fans expect to see from you tomorrow night?
Estamos listos, bien preparados y pues siempre darle a los fans un buen show.
Magdaleno seems very confident against you. What's your message to him?
I mean, I'm just ready. I know it's going to be a great fight. I'm coming with everything, and I want to take the victory back to the 956.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow night in the ring. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jesse Magdaleno and Brandon Figueroa. Well, fans, from the Toshiba Plaza, we continue with another World Championship attraction and the ceremonial weigh-in, reminding you that tomorrow night's action is sponsored by Furiosa Mad Max Saga, only in theaters May 24th, by Valu Casa de Bolsa, and by O'Reilly Auto Parts, professional parts people. Well, fans, let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. First, the challenger, joining us from Margarita, Santa Fe, Argentina. He's the challenger and world rank contender. Please welcome Fabian TNT Maidana.
Fabian TNT Maidana, 3 fights last year, 3 wins, obviously, to put himself into this position, but nothing like the level that Barrios has shown he can be, Mannix, after that magnificent performance against Jordinas Ugas.
Yeah, Fabian Maidana has been something of a conundrum during his career. At times, you see the kind of talent that we saw from his older brother, Marcos Maidana, who was a heavy hitter at 140 and 147. Other times, maybe not in the best of shape coming into fights, not as prepared as he needs to be. This is kind of a crossroads type of fight for him, a make or break type of fight for Fabian Maidana.
Well, this showdown in the welterweight division for the interim WBC welterweight championship has a weight limit of 147 pounds. We invite our fighters to the scale at this time. First, the challenger with a record of 22 wins, only 2 losses, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be making his first attempt at a world title. Please welcome the battle-ready world-ranked challenger, Fabian TNT Maidana.
146.2.
Fabian Maidana weighs in at 146.2 pounds. 146.2. And now his opponent, with a record of 28 wins, 2 losses, 18 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the popular interim WBC welterweight world champion El Azteca, Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios weighs in at 146.6 pounds.
And
146.6.
this is someone that's clearly worked on his deficiencies. No shame in the losses to Gervonta Davis and Keith Thurman. Has come back, and as I mentioned, that fantastic win against Jordinas Ugas. He is a top 147-pound fighter right now.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes trainer changes, they do work. You saw Bob Santos standing alongside Mario Barrios. He trained Mario early in his career, just got back with him recently, and they've really worked on some of the deficiencies in Mario's game to make him a guy that, Chris, I think is a real player at 147.
Yeah, I've actually spoke to Bob Santos several times about Mario Barrios. He's really, really excited about what he's been able to do with him in the gym, getting glowing reports time and time again whenever I do speak to Bob.
I look at him, and I almost a bit like you, Chris, being one of the biggest 140-pounders I've seen. How he made 140, I've absolutely no idea. Because he's big for 147.
Yeah, he's big for 147, and he also carried the power as well. I think he's actually punching better at 47, which is really impressive.
Yeah, you ask members of Barrios' team, and they said if they had gotten a few extra pounds against Gervonta Davis, they would have been able to finish that fight. They just thought he was so depleted that it cost him at the end.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Co-main event of the evening, Mario Barrios versus Fabian Maidana. Jordan Plant, once again, let's hear from both of our fighters.
It's been almost 5 years since you fought here in the States. How excited are you to be back showcasing your skills on the biggest stage in boxing?
Han pasado casi 5 años desde que peleaste aquí en Estados Unidos. ¿Qué tan emocionado estás por poder volver a demostrar tu capacidad aquí en una de las mecas del boxeo?
Bueno, la verdad que primero que nada, buenas tardes a todos y nada, muy contento, muy feliz de estar acá peleando nuevamente en Las Vegas y en esta gran cartelera, ¿no? Y también disputando un título del mundo. Así que nada, muy contento.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be here fighting in this great card for a world title in front of all of you all, and I can't wait for Saturday night. Thank you so much.
You said in fighter meetings that you want to make a name for yourself. What would it mean to you to win the interim WBC title?
¿Qué significaría para vos el poder ganar el título interino del WBC esta vez este sábado?
Bueno, nada, la verdad que sería un sueño cumplido, ¿no? La verdad que quiero ser campeón, así que nada, venimos a dejar todo y a llevarnos el título para Argentina.
I'm gonna leave it all in the ring. That's my goal. I'm gonna just do my best, and my goal is to give the title to Argentina, bring the belt back to my home country.
What's your prediction for this fight?
¿Predicción para esta pelea, vaticinio?
Nada, que vamos a ganar esa pelea y vamos a llevarnos el título para Argentina.
I'm gonna win this fight, and I'm gonna bring the title back to Argentina.
Thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow night.
Muchas gracias y suerte.
Mario Barrios, everyone. Mario, so good to see you. Back at T-Mobile Arena. This is where your last fight was. Big stage, co-main event to Canelo versus Munguia. When you run this fight through your head, how do you see it playing out?
With my hand being raised.
You want to get into more details? Are you going to be working that jab as much as you were in your last fight, especially against Ugas? I was so impressed. You were just pumping the jab the entire fight.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna go in there, try to fight smart, but I never shy away from a firefight. I know my down is coming with a lot to prove, but like I said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, to make sure the strap goes back to San Antonio.
And you're expecting a baby girl in August. Congrats to you and Omaira. I know that's got to add some extra motivation. Did you feel any more added motivation this camp going into this fight?
Yeah, definitely. Both of us are very excited for this next chapter. I actually have something to look forward to after this fight, but first things first, I had to handle business on Saturday.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Mario. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan Bland. Thank you to our fighters. The co-main event's going to be a very exciting one. Do not miss it. Reminding you, tomorrow night's pay-per-view portion of our event begins at 5 p.m. That's local time, 8 p.m. Eastern, of course. And we have a full night of streaming fights beforehand on Prime Video. And you can come early because we have a wealth of boxing taking place early on in the afternoon. Make it a very special Cinco de Mayo weekend boxing extravaganza taking place tomorrow night. Well, we've done it once before. We'll do it one more time because guess what's coming up next? We're going to bring our fighters in shortly, but if you are here and supporting the challenger, Jaime Munguia, let's hear it from you. Who's for Jaime Munguia? Big crowd here scattered out there as well. And the Munguia chant continues. And now we move on to the defending champion, El Orgulloso Guerrero de Guadalajara. Here's who is here for Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Canelo has the crowd.
Got the crowd,
got the
but
crowd.
in the last half an hour or so, I think more Jaime Munguia fans have shown up. It was a stark difference at the very beginning of this press conference. I think Munguia's got a decent crowd here, too.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note as well, this press conference has been pushed forward an hour. A lot of the fight fans don't know that. So you're right, maybe Munguia's fight fans are making their way in now. But
they're late arrivals, the Tijuana Mexicans. Yeah. They're always a little late, a little fashionably late.
Brought to you by Canelo Promotions and TGB Promotions in association with Golden Boy Promotions and Xanther Boxing Promotions, and presented by Corona Premier, the exceptional light beer. It's fight night, light it up. By VMC Tequila Cocktails, El Origen Ante Todo. By El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table, Somos El Mexicano. And by DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let's bring our fighters to the stage. First, please welcome, from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, the hard-hitting world-ranked contender, the former WBO 154-pound champion, the undefeated and acclaimed challenger, Jaime Munguia.
Here he comes, challenger Jaime Munguia, man. Looking confident, ready ropes, flanking him. Big opportunity, big stage as well.
Looking confident, but Chris, I have to wonder kind of what's coursing through Jaime Munguia right now, who has fought on some mid-level stages before, but has never fought on a stage like this.
No, this is put up or shut up time. I mean, the feelings that he has right now walking to that weigh-in, he's going to be face-to-face with the man he has to fight tomorrow night. Butterflies is an understatement.
Yeah, not just the man he has to face, the man he's probably had a poster on the wall, the man he's been looking up to for more than a decade.
Yeah, he said that many times over the last few years. Canelo is a Mexican icon. He grew up wanting to be as good or better than Canelo Alvarez. Now, at 27 years old, he gets his shot.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the superstar of boxing from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, the 4-division world champion, boxing first and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, el orgulloso guerrero de Guadalajara, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
And here comes the man that's done this walk so many times before. Saúl Canelo Alvarez, always now dressed in the latest D&G.
You know, they say it's hard to run when you're wearing silk pajamas. Canelo doesn't seem to have those problems.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
As focused as ever. Can
you be nervous, Algieri, if you're Canelo and you've done this so many times before?
Of course. I mean, the nerves is important. I think that's an important thing to think about. Once the nerves are gone, you probably shouldn't be here anymore. Because those nerves, that bit of anxiety is what makes you get up and run when you have those silk pajamas.
I'm trying to spot where Oscar is on this stage. And whether or not Bernard Hopkins is next to him alongside Shea Mosley. He's called in the troops, says Oscar. This looks like a man that's about to go to a party, not about to jump on the scales. Again, this is the guy that's done this so many times before. He's experienced this. He's experienced the crowd.
Welcome them as they make their way on the scale. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. The weight limit is a very strict 168 pounds. First, we'll bring the challenger to the scale with an outstanding record of 43 wins, no losses, 34 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be making the 7th appearance in a world title attraction. Please welcome the all-action undefeated challenger, Jaime Munguia. The hard-hitting Jaime Munguia
looking solid at 168 pounds. He's bounced between 160 and 168 over the last few years, but now his last few fights settling into that super middleweight division and settling in to that super middleweight body.
And the weight looks right, doesn't it? You know, sometimes you get guys when they jump up in weight, they kind of had a lot of muscle and it looks a bit stiff. He looks perfect at 168 pounds, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's got the height for the weight class. He's 6 foot tall. We talked about him all week, how healthy he looked. He looks good on the scale.
Don't get much healthier than that guy. Canelo Alvarez, the unquestioned king of the 168-pound division. All 4 belts in his trophy case right now. He looks to defend them one more time.
Don't think I've ever seen him that light in the super middleweight limit, 166.6. Can you get it wrong sometimes? Can you overtrain? Is he kind of missed it a little bit there?
I mean, you certainly can overtrain. You can leave it in the gym a little bit. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I saw him wearing some rubber suits throughout the week, some sweatsuits. It could be a couple pounds off, but, I mean, he did start at 154 at one point, so.
See, Oscar has got into position perfectly. Like, look at the crowd as well now. Again, this was pushed forward an hour. This place would have been absolutely jam-packed. It still is. The crowd, as they always do, have turned up for Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, it's been filling in nicely.
And as you can see right there, the T-shirt that Oscar De La Hoya is wearing says "No More Meat" on the front of it, which is a nod to the accusation or reminder to Canelo Alvarez that he made earlier this week about the positive test back in 2018.
You know, I always question the height sometimes. Canelo being 5'8", Munguia 6 foot. Munguia looks 6 foot.
Yes.
He looks considerably taller than Canelo. And I wouldn't be surprised if a landed spot happens eventually at light heavyweight. He looks really big at 168 pounds.
He looks all of a light heavyweight now at 168. I think he's very big for the weight class. And yeah, it was a stark contrast to see these two guys during fight week in the media room.
Doesn't it feel like, in a way, that it's like Canelo's fighting his little brother? There's so much respect between both these guys. A lot of smiles, a lot of handshakes. You saw Canelo pat Munguia on the shoulder there after the weigh-in.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth.
Jaime, right here. Martin will translate for us again. Tomorrow night, you have the chance to change your life and become the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. How surreal is this moment for you?
Tu vida podría llegar a cambiar mañana por la noche como campeón indiscutido de las 168 libras. ¿Qué tan surreal es este momento para ti?
No, la verdad que estoy muy emocionado. Es una gran oportunidad y la voy a aprovechar al máximo y mañana voy a ser campeón del mundo.
I'm so excited. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to take advantage of it to the fullest, and tomorrow I'm going to be the new world champion.
Standing next to you right now, I can feel an overwhelming amount of confidence coming from you. Where does that come from?
¿De dónde viene esta confianza tan abrumadora que ella siente de tu parte? Viene como una energía muy fuerte.
No, la verdad pues proviene de toda mi preparación, de toda la gente, de todo mi equipo, de mi familia, de toda la gente que vino a apoyarme, de todo México. La verdad, confío en la preparación que hice, entonces de ahí viene.
It's from the energy is from the preparation that I had, which I trust to the fullest. It's from my team, from my family, from all of you guys here supporting me, cheering me on, and that's the energy that you feel right now.
One more sleep until you step through those ropes. What's your final message to Canelo and your fans?
Solamente falta una noche para ingresar al ring. ¿Cuál es tu mensaje para Canelo o para los fans a menos de 24 horas de la pelea?
Bueno, pues decirles a todos que mañana va a vibrar México, va a vibrar el boxeo, va a ser una gran pelea. Muchas gracias a toda la gente que nos está apoyando y ¡viva México!
It's going to be a great fight. Thank you to everyone who comes out and support us, and most of all, ¡viva México!
Thank you so much. Best of luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
The undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. Earlier this week, you said you feel the best you've ever felt in your career. 64 fights in. How do you feel the best ever when you're so deep in this?
No, I feel really good. I feel in my prime. I feel in my best because I had no injuries anymore. So I feel in my best right now, and I'm gonna show you guys in Saturday night.
So you said no injuries, you're feeling in your best. So will this be the best version of Canelo we will see tomorrow night?
Yeah. I think I'm in my best shape ever.
We know you bring out the stars. Can you give the fans any hints on who's walking to the ring with you tomorrow night?
Luis R. Conríquez va a estar conmigo mañana, va a estar caminando ahí con una canción nueva que me hizo. Es un honor para mí y espero que todo México disfrute de esta pelea porque es para ellos. ¡Que viva México, cabrones!
I'm going to let Martin translate that for us real quick. Martin?
All right, so I'm so happy to be here. I want all of Mexico to enjoy this fight. It's going to be a great time, and most of all, Viva Mexico, cabrones!
Your love for your fans is evident. You love them, you put on a great performance for them every time, and you know they pay hard money to watch you fight. What's your message to them before you step in the ring versus Jaime Munguia?
No, they know I'm going to put my best. I'm going to put all my experience, my talent, and win the fight. Win, and I hope they all enjoy this fight because it's for Mexico.
And maybe celebrate on Sunday for Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, why not?
All right, thank you so much. Good luck to you tomorrow night. Undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez, everyone.
Well, fans, on behalf of Canelo Promotions,
Mannix, there's been so many conversations in the last sort of 12 to 18 months about who is the face of boxing, whether it be Gervonta Davis, Tyson Fury, Ryan Garcia until the last 36, 48 hours. You look at the reception, look at the numbers here. For a weigh-in, undoubtedly the face still is Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, I think people are competing for the next face of boxing. But right now, Canelo Alvarez remains the face of boxing. He's the guy that drives all the pay-per-view numbers that he puts up. He's the guy that puts butts in the seats. He is a North American star. He is a global star. He is unquestionably still the face of boxing.
He certainly is, isn't it? Edgar Berlanga is with us. We're going to speak to him very shortly. He's a guy that wants his crack as well, doesn't he? An interesting spectator. I was looking for him on stage as Oscar De La Hoya. Ariel Helwani is with Mr. Golden Boy himself.
All right, we're here with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar, and your fiance, wife, I'm not sure. Holly, your partner. What'd you make of the face-off?
Beautiful face-off. Jaime, I see Jaime he looks in good form. He's solid. He's big, and he looks fast. I love that.
Did you think Canelo was trying to big brother him by putting his hand on his shoulder?
Well, look, it's all mind games, you know. Though I'm on Jaime's side, and I know exactly what mind games go around. Don't pay no attention to that. Just have fun and just beat the shit out of him.
And let me ask you one last thing. What's up with the shirt?
Eat meat.
Got beef. I like it, Oscar. Guys, back to you.
Interesting shirt, and I don't think it's a reference to vegans or vegetarians. It's a reference, obviously, as we know, to the Glenbruto issue with Canelo. Look who's joined us, an unbeaten super middleweight guy himself, Edgar Berlanga. You're here on a bit of a spying mission.
Yeah.
We know you won that fight in September. Win Canelo or Munguia?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm just happy to be a part of the event. Coming out here this weekend, supporting the Mexican crowd. People don't know, but I do have a lot of Mexican fans, so I'm supporting them. And every year I do, Cinco de Mayo weekend, it's a big weekend for them, so I'm out here supporting them for sure.
I've been asking the guys about where they think Canelo is right now in his career. Obviously, it's someone that you've looked up to for a long time, someone that you want to eventually get in the ring with. Where do you feel Canelo is? Still the top dog at 168 pounds?
1,000%. I take nothing away from him. He did a lot in the sport of boxing. He's going down as one of the, the greatest Mexican fighters to ever live. He won a lot of, he's an undisputed champion. He's a great fighter, man. I don't see no decline in him. If anything, I see him getting better. But he has a tough opposition in front of him Saturday that, he has to focus on, and, and we go from there. We see what's up.
So what do you think Jaime Munguia's game plan is going to be? We all know what the numbers say, that he is more of a volume puncher than Canelo is at this stage of his career. If you were Jaime Munguia and you were fighting Canelo Alvarez right now, what would the game plan be?
I mean, with Canelo, first of all, you can't run. You can't do what Charlo did, running around. You have to stand there and fight, the way, Bivol did and Triple G did. Guys like him, you have to stay there and earn your respect. I think Munguia is going to do that. I suggest Munguia not to go out there and just try to throw bombs on him because he could get clipped. I feel like if he keeps his distance, use a good jab, Canelo doesn't use his jab a lot. So, if he uses his jab, stay consistent with the jab, Munguia throws a lot of combination, a lot of punches per round, so if he could keep that going throughout the 12 rounds, he could come out victorious. But, Canelo's a different breed. He's been in there with many different guys, many different talents, many different, styles. He's seen it all, man. So, that right there could play a major part in the fight as well, with his experience.
Edgar, how does it feel to be this close to such a massive event where you may find yourself in a few months?
I feel blessed, man. I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this opportunity, man. I feel it, I feel it that is there. I think it's the right time, I've always wanted to, share the ring with that man, since I turned pro. I've always seen me and him. I had dreams of me and him fighting, so, for me to share the ring with him, I know it's going to be something for the history books, Puerto Rico versus Mexico. I keep saying it, I'm a superstar, and I got a big island behind me, a big boxing island that's behind me. He has Mexico, and, what's a better way, to just square it off in the ring, two superstars,
Yeah, two guys that like to come forward, and you're right, those Mexican-Puerto Rican wars over the years have been fantastic.
Yeah.
In terms of what next for you before September, what's going on? Is there going to be a stopgap fight? Are you going to risk fighting someone else, or are you going to sit it out until September?
Yeah, we're going to definitely sit out to September. We just weighing everything out. Obviously, we got to see how this plays off, and then, I already know, what's the move on going on for September, but we just got, we leaving it in Canelo's hands, At the end of the day, you got to respect him. He's the king of the 168 division. He has all the titles. He brings in all the money, so you got to respect him when respect is due. So, we're just going to sit out, wait it out, see what's up, see how the numbers do, and we go from there.
We all know what kind of money is on the table when you fight Canelo Alvarez. What would the legacy mean to you? There's obviously been a women's undisputed champion. Yeah. Amanda Serrano accomplished that. But if you beat Canelo Alvarez and he has all 4 belts, you become the first Puerto Rican fighter to win all 4, become undisputed champion. What would that mean?
Oh, man, it's a blessing. That's actually what I'm chasing, It's not even about the money, I know that, God is going to bless me. Where I'm at right now is because of him, so I know that eventually I'm gonna make the bag. I'm going to make that money. But it's legacy for me, this is the right time to do it, to be the first male Puerto Rican fighter representing Puerto Rico, coming out of Puerto Rico, having all the titles is insane, it's a blessing, and I could be standing there, with Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, Alfredo Benitez, Macho Camacho, that's a dream come true to me that my last name could live forever in the sport of boxing.
I do think we have Jaime Munguia alongside Ariel Helwani. We do? Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're here with Jaime Munguia. Yes, thank you so much. 24 hours before the biggest fight of your life, can you tell us what's going on in your mind as you approach this massive, massive fight?
24 horas antes de la pelea más importante de tu vida.
No, pues la verdad yo creo que me siento muy motivado, me siento feliz por esta pelea. Entonces mañana estoy decidido y voy a ganar.
I'm very motivated, I'm very excited, very happy, and tomorrow I decide I'm going to win this fight.
Good luck. Thank you. Gracias.
I like it. Short and sweet. Short and sweet, right? I mean, yeah, you don't want to waste any time. Get back. Whatever you got to do, you got to do. How do you think the fight plays out on Saturday?
It's gonna be a difficult fight for both fighters. I feel, that if, Canelo can land early, I see Munguia going out. If he can't land, and it's difficult because of the volume of punching that Munguia is going to be giving this guy, I see Munguia taking a victory by unanimous decision or split decision. But yeah, man, it's going to be a difficult fight. You got a guy like Canelo that's, he's experienced, and he hits hard. The only thing that, I feel like Munguia lacks is defense. I've been saying that. I don't take none away from Munguia. Munguia is a great fighter. Obviously he got to this point and got the opportunity, to become a third, undisputed Mexican world champion. But, yeah, I just feel like that's what gets me with this fight, it's his defense. If he's not working on if he hasn't been working on his defense for this fight, he's going to be in major problems.
Great to hear from you, Edgar Berlanga, who looks like he's going to have his shot September against the winner of this one. Look, so many big fights coming your way on the DAZN. Maybe the biggest fight this year is the undisputed heavyweight title showdown between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. It really is an unrivaled schedule, isn't it? I mean, Hernandez versus Lugo coming up Saturday, May 11th. The X Series is back, and so is Mr. Salt Papi, who takes on Amadeus Ferrari from the Troxy Saturday, May 11th as well. Good weekend of boxing coming your way.
Yes.
All right, Ariel Helwani is down there. Hopefully he's got the super middleweight king, Canelo
All right, we're
Alvarez.
here with the great
Let's throw it
soul,
downstairs
Canelo
to Ariel.
Alvarez, live right now. A very calm and relaxed Canelo Alvarez. We're live on DAZN. Canelo, obviously we just saw the face-off, and I saw you put your hand on Jaime's shoulder. What were you trying to say to him by doing that?
No, I respect Jaime, and I'm proud about what he's doing in boxing, and he's Mexican, and I respect him. But like I say, I don't come to play. Tomorrow is going to be different. But I respect Jaime, but tomorrow is going to be different, like I say.
All the stuff with Oscar this week, has it made the fight personal for you?
That doesn't make change my mind in any way. I come to win in a fashion way, and that doesn't change anything.
And ultimately, this is the first time that you fight a fellow Mexican since 2017. Yeah. Do you like that? Some fighters don't like fighting fellow countrymen. How do you feel about that?
I don't really thinking about that because, you know, I represent Mexico and all of that stuff. But I think this is great for Mexico, and I feel proud about being involved in this fight.
Prediction?
I'm gonna knock out before 8.
Can't wait. Thank you. Canelo Alvarez, the great Canelo Alvarez. Back to you guys.
Okay, you heard it there, the prediction from Canelo. The Latin snake Sergio Moro just joined us. He said, you heard it there, Mannix, knock him out before 8.
I mean, I think that's the most likely outcome. I think this fight is going to be a firefight as long as it lasts. I think Canelo is going to come out blasting. I think he's probably going to win a few rounds because we know that Canelo is more of a slow starter than he is a fast finisher. So I think there's going to be some opportunities for Jaime Munguia early. It's late. It's when he gets caught with that big shot. How does he handle it? And I think that's going to be the test that comes before the 8th round.
Sergio, do you think, and look, I think I know the answer to it, but I'm still going to ask the question, do you think that Canelo is underestimating Munguia? The way he kind of tapped him on the shoulder, almost like little brother. You know, like you've done nothing in your career, now you're stepping up to the top dog. Could there be any way that Canelo is looking past him?
No way. I mean, I think he respects him. He knows that he has that Mexican style. He's going to be really big, so the size is going to be a factor. But you took the words out of my mouth, little brother in them, absolutely, because that's what you do with young up-and-comers like that. You make them feel that they don't belong in this moment. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been on top of the world. I'm pound for pound. You have been being set up for all this to cash out with me. Now it's time. I'm going to teach you a lesson. So it's definitely something that he's going to little brother him, absolutely.
All right, I'll mention so many people here. The last 36 hours, the name that's really caught everyone in the headlines is Ryan Garcia. He is with Ariel Helwani.
All right, guys, we're here with Ryan Garcia. Ryan, see you once again later after the big fight. Obviously a very trying and I'm sure a very frustrating week for you. Can you tell us your reaction to the news that came out earlier this week?
You know, straight bullshit. It's a con job. Everybody knows Victor Conte is a piece of shit. We all know it. He literally helped design fucking VADA. This is fucking bullshit. All of a sudden, I test positive. This is straight bullshit. Bro, how the heck do I go months and months not testing positive for nothing, then on the last day, the day before and the day after, I'm positive? Where the... Bro, this is some A1 bullshit. I don't even know how this is possible. But again, I'm not going to shy away from no question. Ask me any question.
Well, just curious, what is the process now, right?
Because well, I asked for the B sample already. I got professionals looking over all my supplements to see if it was tainted, and we're going to figure it out. But again, I don't really give a fuck. I don't have to prove myself. I know Victor Conte is a piece of shit. So at the end of the day, how can we trust somebody that was banned from fucking baseball, and then you come to our sport and you help design the testing that tested me positive? Bro, if you guys don't think this is an inside job, you got another thing coming for you, and I'm going to prove it.
He said yesterday, Devin said yesterday he's not interested in a rematch. What's your response to that?
His face is still fucked up. He could barely speak. Yeah, I fucking rematch either because I'm for sure. I won't even ask his dad save him anymore. I asked him. His dad fucked up his life. He's never going to be the same.
Apologies, I have to ask the question. Have you ever knowingly taken any PED?
No, I've never knowingly taken PEDs. I've never actually taken PEDs. I'm going to rephrase that. I've never taken PEDs in my life. This is bullshit. I was on tequila and weed. That's it.
All right, Finally, I saw you say Canelo wins. You're backing Canelo. You're back on Team Canelo.
No, we never really stopped fucking with each other. It was just some miscommunication bullshit.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with everything, Ryan. Appreciate the time, guys. Back to you.
You know, I love the idea that he does speak for himself, right? A lot of people hide behind people in their team, but there is a part of me that also feels, Mannix, that maybe he should have a spokesperson answering these type of questions, especially when it comes to the PED situation.
Well, here's what I respect about what Ryan said there is if I was falsely accused of something, I would be screaming from the heavens that I didn't do it. And I'm always a little bit suspect of people that kind of go underground when things like that ultimately happen. But look, I'm not a huge fan of Victor Conte. I don't believe people like Victor Conte and Memo Heredia and people that have been involved with doping in the past belong in professional sports, but he's drawing a line between Victor Conte and VADA, which doesn't really exist. Yes, Victor Conte works very closely with Devin Haney, but the tests are the tests, the results are the results, and I just think he's going to have to do more to prove to people that he is a clean athlete.
I do want to get your take on it, Sergio. I do want to get your take as well, Chris. But Ariel Helwani is with someone who fought Canelo not too long ago. That man is Mr. Caleb Plant.
All right, guys, here with the great Caleb Plant. Caleb, obviously you know a thing or two about Canelo. Your thoughts on this fight tomorrow night?
Tomorrow, I think Canelo's experience will get the job done. You know, Jaime, a great fighter, but I think he leaves himself open, maybe a little too offensive and not enough defensively sound. And I think at some point, you know, Canelo will catch him. But I think it'll be a good fight until then.
There are a lot of people who think that Canelo's best days are behind him. Are you one of those people that subscribe to that?
I don't know. I won't say nothing that specific, but I'm looking to get a rematch. You know, I've been on a quest, fighting whoever wants to fight. You know, that's always been my mentality. So I like to get a tune-up fight and then set my sights on a big fight, and you know, maybe me and Canelo can run it back.
Do you know, in fact, what is next for you yet?
Tune-up. No details.
Date or anything?
No details yet, but a tune-up, and then the biggest fight I can get.
Charlo, brother?
I'm moving on from that. I'm moving on from that. That's what I want. Obviously, everyone knows that, but, you know, I'm moving on from that. I really don't even want to hear about him no more. I'll set my sights on another big fight, and whenever he's ready to get it on and get it cracking, I'll happily circle back.
Fair enough. Thanks for the time, man. Appreciate it. He always leaves me hanging, guys. I don't know what it is. Back to you.
It's funny, sometimes you always, 168-pound division right now, we always hear about Benavidez, Morale, we had Edgar Berlanga, obviously Munguia getting his opportunity. Caleb Plant is still a very, very good 168-pounder who should be mixing it with any of those guys still, Sergio.
Absolutely. I mean, he only lost to the best. I mean, Benavidez, no shame there, and Canelo Alvarez, who's headlining Saturday. So he's still a top dog in that division. I mean, he was giving Canelo some fits. He's an excellent boxer. He has a great jab, movement. So I can see him doing well, top 3, top 4 in the super middleweight division. Absolutely.
All right, as we wrap this, if you guys don't mind, I want to go down the line and get predictions for the big one, the main event tomorrow, Canelo versus Jaime Munguia. You're seeing the rankings there. That's kind of where they have it. I kind of understand that. Maybe Mbili a bit too high, but obviously thought of as a very good prospect.
You are a Christian Mbili hater.
No!
You are.
I'm just saying, number 2, Mbili. I mean, come on. I think
number 3.
David Morale. I mean, get Morale higher, I think. That's my only argument with that decision.
Two of those guys are fighting 175 now. Okay,
that's true. That's very, very true. All right, go on, prediction. Sergio, you first. How does this play out?
It's going to be a good old Mexican standoff. There's only be one Mexican standing. In the end, I think that's Canelo Alvarez, 10 rounds.
10?
Yeah, I think Canelo stops him in the 6th. Like I said, I think it's a fun fight up until it lasts. But I think Munguia, at some point, is going to walk into a big shot, and that's going to be the end of the night.
Okay.
I think Munguia sees the end. I think he does get to the end, but I do have Canelo winning by unanimous decision.
All right, there you go. There are the predictions. Still so much more to come on DAZN coming your way, including this. All right, coming up, as you know, the big one, May 18th, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for all the marbles, 168 pounds. Then it is a case of Frank versus Eddie, 5 versus 5, Queensbury versus Matchroom. Then Juan Francisco Estrada against, I think, a guy that is right up there in the pound-for-pound rankings, Bam Rodriguez. Look at that schedule. But all eyes on this weekend. Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia. Is Canelo still the top dog, or will Munguia prove that he can be now the king of 168 pounds? Don't forget to buy it on DAZN.com. You don't want to miss this pay-per-view. We will see you all tomorrow.